Released for the very first time since its debut in 1989, the most craziest thing about the shoe I'm about to talk about is that I don't think anybody took notice of it back in 1989. Not that I know for sure, but I can tell you I have never seen this model on anybody's list of shoes that they want to have brought back. All of that is out the window now because these shoes are on fire. This is the New Balance 550. Let's get into it. It's no secret, I really love New Balance shoes. I don't know how many times I've said it on the channel, maybe a few times, maybe less, maybe more. What I love about them is that they look good, they feel good, they're usually pretty well put together, they're reasonably priced, and they're available normally. Usually, but not always. Case in point, the New Balance 550. These things have been selling so hot, I can't believe how hard it was to get my hands on a pair. Some colorways do sell better than others. Even as I make this video, there is a all red version that's selling at a $20 premium on top of the base version of the 550. That's still available on the New Balance website. That particular colorway isn't my cup of tea, but the standard 550, which is normally an all-white silhouette with some accent colors, sells out almost as soon as they drop. And for the first time, I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm actually glad. I'm not glad that it is so difficult to get your hands on a pair of shoes, but what I'm glad about is that there's finally appreciation for a smoking hot silhouette because it is banging and not because it's on the feet of some celebrity. Of course they might be on someone's feet, I just haven't taken any notice of it. But anyway, I also can't help but think that this is part of New Balance's strategy with the way that they've been releasing some of their basketball shoes. They did this a couple of years back when they first dropped the Omnis, which is a shoe that I really love. I've got a few pairs of those. They released those in fairly limited quantities and they were really hard to get your hands on. You pretty much needed to get a pair on release because if you left it a day or two, all the sizes would be gone and they wouldn't really bring any of those colorways back, and even if they did, they were in like a super limited release. They then released the Omnis Low and started to drop those in larger quantities, releasing multiple colorways at a time. I say that in the hopes that what we'll see is the 550 being made available a little bit more, a little further down the track. This is a really sweet shoe. The 550 here in Australia retails for $180, which isn't really cheap for this style of shoe. I see this being on the same shopping list as the Nike Air Force 1 Low and the Adidas Forum Low. For comparison, both of the standard versions of those shoes retail in Australia for $150. So what does that $30 premium get you? In all honesty, you're getting pretty much the same shoe that you would expect to get from an Air Force 1 or a Forum Low, but it's just a little bit more elevated. Well, I think so anyway. There's a mostly leather upper, and I say mostly leather because there is some nylon paneling around the heel collar, and the rest of the shoe is made up of a bunch of different leather panels that are put together with this double stitching that I think really adds a lot of character to the shoe itself. There are some panels on the shoe that are perforated, but I feel like perforated isn't the right description because it doesn't actually feel like perforated leather, more like just leather with some dots in it. But what I love about the 550's upper is the way that the colorways change the different accent colors in the shoe itself. The model that I've got here that I'm talking about was released as part of a college pack, and this is the Syracuse colorway. So orange is the accent color. The nylon panels that I spoke about earlier, the piping on the lower panel of the midfoot, the branding and the lining, as well as the outsole accents, and these plastic panels above the midsole are all orange. The outsole is rubber, and what I really like about it is that there is some nice color blocking here. The black and the white are colors that would carry through for most of the 550 models. Then you've got some orange accents around the forefoot and also on the heel. As far as comfort goes, the midsole itself is pretty low tech. Aesthetically, it looks really nice. There's nice elements here with the branding and some of these lines that have been indented, as well as the way that some of the colors from the outsole carry into the midsole itself. It's also really reminiscent of the style of midsole that we have seen from the 80s. This one here in particular reminds me a lot of the Adidas Forum. But what we do have to help comfort is a really comfortable insole, just to give a nicer step-in feel. If you want a point of comparison, this is no more or less comfortable than a shoe like the Forum or the Air Force One. It's a little heavy, but it gets the job done. It's not uncomfortable to wear. It's just not super duper comfortable, that's all. I would go true to size for the 550. I have found that there has been some inconsistencies in the sizing for some of New Balance's lifestyle and basketball models. They tend to be a larger fit, or they give you a little bit more room to move. I wouldn't recommend sizing down in the 550. At least that's what I found with the US 13 that I have got. It fits me just the way I like it to fit. What's my verdict on the 550? It is absolutely a shoe that I recommend. If you can get your hands on it, that is, do yourself a favor and grab a pair. I think it is really nice to have another model make its way back from the 80s, and to have a few different silhouettes that are from that era, are unmistakably 80s, but look great too. I've already hinted to a couple of models that you could get if you can't get your hands on the 550. I think either the Forum Low or the AF ones will do the trick, but I'm really interested in your thoughts. Have you guys picked up a pair of the 550? Is it a release that you guys are keeping an eye on? Let me know in the comments below. But until the next video, laters.